would like to welcome you, Rahul and Rasika, as our esteemed speakers for this year's Global Testing Retreat, ATA GTR 2020, which is the fifth edition of the conference. So, can I request you guys to introduce yourself? Whoever wants to go first.
Maybe we start with Rasika.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I think I'm audible. Hello, everyone. So, hello, Harsh. So, starting with my personal introduction, I'm a mother of 6-year naughty son, and I'm enjoying the lockdown with him along with my work. So, that's all from my personal side, I want to say. And from professional side, if you see, I have around 12 plus years of professional software testing experience. I have worked in different domains like telecom, security, where I have worked on identity management. Then I worked to cloud computing, microservices, Kubernetes, virtualization, etc. So during my experience, I have started my job with a software test engineer, and currently I am appointed as a lead QA in IBM Hybrid Cloud team. So we are working we are working in a cloud computing where we are trying to develop an automation to deploy an OpenShift cluster, and on top of the OpenShift cluster, we are deploying different IBM Cloud packs, and we are verifying whether it's properly installed and its behavior, security, and all other aspects. And we are working in an agile way and developing automation, and we are trying to achieve a very good automation there. So me and my team is continuously working to make a good automation and good testing, good quality product which can help others, and they can use it easily. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Rasika. You come with a lot of industry experience and you have worked across various technologies and various things. Thank you so much. Rahul, can I request you to say something about you?
Yeah, this is Rahul Nema this side. I'm an architect with IBM India Labs, almost like close to 15 years experience now. Predominantly working on cloud technologies, setting up a hybrid cloud platform is what we do. We build products using which people can set up their own private cloud in the data center. We also build sort of connectors or kind of tools using which you can bring the value of a public cloud back to your data center, right? So that is what I have been doing in close to 15 years, as I mentioned there. Pretty much at home, I again have like a 4-year-old, and my wife is a housewife today. So that's about it. That's a brief introduction, Harsh, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rahul and Rasika, for your intro and telling about your personal and professional life. So, Rasika and Rahul, I believe you are speaking on adaptive test automation in the agile test cycle, if I said the topic correctly. So, can you say something more on the topic and what would be the key takeaways for the folks attending the session at the conference?
Yeah, sure, Harsh. So as you said, we will be talking on adaptive test automation in agile flow. So we have named it as ATA. So what exactly into today's agile development, we have seen that the frequency of code change is very high. And when I am working as a software engineer, software test engineer, and when we are automating, we frequently found that with every code checking, there is a huge possibility that our code get breaked and automation will fail. And it's really painful. And during the end of the release, or during when we have at a production level, when we want to give a patch, and when we come up with this kind of issues, it's really hard to get them fixed. And generally we go with the testing with a manual one, and then we said, okay, fine, we will go with a manual testing for now, and then as in when we will get some bandwidth, we will get some free cycles, we will work on the automation. So actually adaptive test automation is an approach which can help you to fix this automation bugs at a very early stage. It will help you how you can identify them, how we can easily debug or easily grasp them in a early test or development life cycle itself, and how someone can um, fix that when the development or a PR request is in progress, so that it won't get break your code, and you can execute your automation for different patches and for your release at whenever it is possible. So it is kind of approach which will make sure that your test automation will not break, will not give you much pain when there is a change in the code. So that is how our adaptive test automation will work.
Thank you so much, Rasika, for highlighting that. Rahul, would you like to add something apart from what Rasika has already added?
Yeah,
Firstly, you'd have to unmute. Yes.
yeah. Just to add to what Rasika mentioned, right? So uh, basically, the whole premise when we started with this agile, maybe like some 5 to 7 years ago, we found we were able to improve the way development or kind of the processes for development improved. We were able to actually develop logical features, right? We were able to deliver and kind of roll out features much quickly. But then we started, I mean, almost like in couple of months, we saw the problems which are majorly coming back are on the automation side, right? Or our tests were breaking much faster. As soon as there were more feedback, the developer were able to cope to that particular change. But adopting to that in the test automation was becoming a pain. That is where we started following up some new processes. We started looking at how agile development teams are kind of leveraging test and test automation in a better format, right? So we started kind of automating more things at that point in time. With automation, we still saw it became a bigger problem, because even though you have automation, the code, if there is a small change, right, to adopt to that or to make that particular change was becoming like again a pain. So that is where we started kind of moving towards adaptive frameworks, where we said the validations should happen more logically. The validations should not be syntax or screen based. They should be done more from a use case perspective, and that is where we started following some of these practices which we have put as part of the paper. So the whole idea is all about kind of being more agile and kind of being more and more kind of AI driven when it comes to driving your test cases and validating them.
Thank you so much, Rahul, for adding that. I think your session would be very much insightful and very much informative because it's based on the real life problems that folks in the industry generally face with regards to automation when there are many more releases coming every now and then. So I think there is a lot of things to gain for the audience from your session. So now moving ahead, I think I would like to ask some generic questions. And you mentioned in your intro, and if I were to sum up your experience is more than 2 decades, if I were to add up your total experience. So I wanted to ask you that what keeps you going on a daily basis? What is your passion, or who inspires you the most, Rasika and Rahul? If you would like to add something on that side.
So inspiration wise, if you see, I think APJ Abdul Kalam is my inspiration. I think everyone know. Most of the Indian folks find him as an inspiration. He is a person who has given a technology as a view to everyone. Education is the first right he has explained to everyone. So APJ Abdul Kalam is definitely a great inspiration for everyone. What keeps on going? So on the daily basis, if we find we get a new challenges, new things to work on. If I am, I have a total experience with testing. If I can say that on daily we find new challenges where sometimes environment is not working, sometimes code is not working, and sometimes our test cases stop working. So that is we daily find some new challenges, new things to do, new things to learn. So that's keep us growing, not giving attitude. That is what we have learned from our leaders. Also the managers and teammates are so much supportive that if anything breaks up in between as well, they help us in the same way, the way we look for them. And what we can say that family support also, they are helping us and they are always behind us, even if there are, we found that during this lockdown, uh, we are not able to focus much and in homework as well, because we have to give much time to our professional life, as well as there are some ups and downs coming in. So I think supports from everyone and collaboration is what is a key, I can say, is helping me a lot.
Thank you so much, Rasika, for sharing your views on that. So, Rahul, what are your thoughts on this? What keeps you going and who inspires you the most?
I mean, there are many inspirations, but at least on day-to-day basis, if I say right, I have been kind of now almost, as I mentioned, 15 years with IBM. There are a lot of people who come back and they have been coming back for maybe like 10 plus years now asking, what is it, right? In India, people change organizations every 2 to 3 years. You have been with the same organization for 15 years. I will say the learning which comes back or the new things which we are able to do as part of the organization, right? We are able to actually. I've been pretty much working on a very difficult kind of space where it is not only about application development. It is all about system plus application development. We build cloud solutions, right, which somebody can consume and set their own private cloud. There's just so much in this space to learn. How do you do virtualization? How do you set up your SDN configurations? How do you set up your virtualized storages and whatnot, right? So today, uh, and the problems kind of which keeps coming back, the kind of gains which you are having, looking at OpenShift, looking at all the containerization technologies, there's just so much to learn. So I think for me that learning is the key. That is what keeps me going, trying to learn and build and develop new things, right? From an inspiration perspective, I will say Mark Zuckerberg definitely inspire every IT engineers a lot, right? What he created, the algorithms, the kind of logic which he came back with to map people was phenomenal, right? To me, to understand and kind of use such techniques to solve problems, right? Of connecting people socially is one of the biggest things. So, yeah, from an inspiration perspective, there are a lot of IT leaders. There are like a lot of people internally in IBM as well who kind of help to grow. Soumitra Lime is one of the leaders. I was just talking to him almost like last week. The kind of inspiration which he brings back, right, is truly phenomenal. That also kind of adds to do more and to do better in the industry there actually.
Thank you so much, Rahul, for adding that. I think connecting people socially was one of the most revolutionary ideas which has been there in the 21st century, and we are being shaped by a lot of those ideas now. So it's like moving ahead, I wanted to ask you something about your hometown, guys. So it's like, where are you from, and something special about your hometown, one place, memory, or anything that you'd like to share with the audience?
That's interesting. Harsh, you are making us nostalgic. Yeah, so maybe if Rasika, you are okay, I can start on this one.
Sure, Rahul, go ahead. So we all are working from home, so let's get some more nostalgic now.
Yeah, I'm home, but this still, I mean, almost like I've been in this place almost 4 years now. I had some rented places in the past, but I've been in Pune for all my career. I started it here. I graduated from an IT Silchar, which is in Assam. My hometown is in Bhilai, Chhattisgarh. It was in MP. If I'm not sure how many people recall that, but it's in Chhattisgarh now. It is one of the education capital for Chhattisgarh. It has Bhilai Steel Plant, which is the main plant for sale. It produces a lot of iron, and anybody who travels via rail, right? They're actually running on rail made in Bhilai Steel Plant. So that is something good. And yeah, Bhilai was always good. It has been some time now I've traveled there. So remembering Bhilai, I need to travel back, it seems now.
Sure. So once the situation gets back to normal, you can surely visit your hometown and revisit the memories of Bhilai.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Sure.
Rasika, would you like to share something about your hometown and some special thing or special memories from your hometown? You'll have to unmute yourself once again. I'm not sure. Yes, Rasika, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Why not? So actually, I'm born and brought up, and my all education is from Nagpur, and everyone knows the Nagpur is famous for its oranges. So apart from oranges, we have many things in Nagpur like zero miles. Everyone knows that zero miles is a marker indicating for geographical center of India. Also, Nagpur has a IT sector which is after Pune, we can say the second IT hub is in Nagpur. Also, we know the Nagpur is famous for the tiger capital of India. It have a lot of tiger reservoirs. So, although if we can say Nagpur is well good for education as well, I have done my all engineering from Nagpur itself, and I got placed in campus via my Nagpur University only. So I'm thankful to my hometown, and I'm thankful to you as well. Because of you, I have come up with different ideas and come up with different things about Nagpur. And usually people don't get chance to speak about their hometown, but I got that opportunity to share with you.
Thank you so much, Rasika. You come pretty much from the center of India, I could say. The zero miles recollected me that. So moving ahead, you guys have been working in technology for quite some long time now, and you mentioned about cloud, and cloud is the next big thing, right? So I wanted to ask you that how do you see the current technology trend evolving, Rasika and Rahul? And where do you see the current tester placed in that trend? Where should the person focus on, or what should be the key areas that a person should look for?
Yeah, so usually if we see, right, cloud is the next thing which is coming into the market, but cloud is already there in market from so many years. But now the with this all corona and all those things, we can see there is lot of things which people have started doing online. If you see, the trend of online marketing is also increased. With this trend, one thing definitely we can say, AI and ML will definitely play an important role, whether it's shopping, whether it's you want to do the some home things, like you want to do the infrastructure change in your home, then also AI will help you. So all these things, if we look into current technology which is in trend, I can say AI with ML and cloud is definitely which is everyone should learn nowadays. Also, with current technology, we can see that many tools in software testing which are AI and ML based, which can help us to do the automation with a faster growth. We have a robotic process automation tool which can help us to achieve the automation in very less time, and with great automation in place for software testing. I think RPA, AI, ML, and cloud is must-have skills in today's IT sector. So that is one thing I can definitely say: AI, ML, and cloud. Everyone should learn something about AI, ML, and cloud.
Thank you so much, Rasika, and that was quite insightful. So, Rahul, what are your views on that? Rahul, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Sure, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rasika pretty much covered it quite well. I will really like to mention cloud is the thing where we are in, right? At least for me, I've been building these solutions for 15 years. In 2005, 2006, I recall there was already a solution which was running for some of the customers there, which we kind of made generally available in 2007, I think, which was kind of deployed for maybe like 100 plus customers, right? So, in my understanding, for software testers, as I mentioned, right, it needs to be derived from what we have been doing in the past. It was a lot more about syntax. It has to be value based, right? We need to evolve of how can we do, or how can we bring value to a product instead of just looking at the test case which it exists today. So, or the test cases have to mature in a manner where it can bring the value out of the product, because the industry is no more. The plain user interfaces don't delight people anymore, right? When we started, maybe it is still, if I created a web form, there were so many of my friends who were kind of, wow, you have created a web form. If I create a web form today and kind of ask a survey, or do something on those lines, people might be laughing at me, right? The industry has moved on from basic to much advanced user interfaces today, to much more insightful features or much more meaningful features, if I want to qualify it that way, right? So we need to bring meaningful into every paradigm is what I will say. The developer needs to develop code which is more meaningful. The testers needs to code test which is much more meaningful for the user. That is what I can bring. But as from a technology stack perspective, I think Rasika summarized it quite well. That people needs to be familiar with AI and how it can help in every aspect of development and software industry there.
Thank you so much, Rahul, for your views on that. So one final question before I let you leave. So it's like we have been working from home from past 6 or 8 months now. So how has been your work from home experience? So how has work from home treated you guys?
I think I'm going crazy is what I can say. And my son is also going crazy with me is what I can also add to it. Okay, to start with, I mean, when this lockdown started in India, right? It was pretty much China was in lockdown for two months, 2.5 months, as I recall. They started their lockdown, I think, very early to 2021, and we started somewhere in March, right? I was already going crazy with the idea that how these guys have been managing a lockdown which is 2+ months, right? And now we are actually in it for almost six or maybe not six now, 7 or 8 months, right? It's absolutely it is good in a way. We are able to stabilize the work life a bit. We are able to kind of go and do things better on the work side because you get much more time. But on personal life side, I think there are a lot of challenges which needs to be solved before this can become reality, or this is going to be a good reality for everybody. Is what I can say there.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Rasika, your views on that? So just unmute yourself before you answer.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so I think we are enjoying now. Initially, we were in a difficult phase because it's not only lockdown for us. As I can see, I have a kid who is 6 year old and he has started his schooling also. So initially, it's getting something we are not able to get adjust. His schooling also gets started at the same time when we have a meetings. But later we got to know that no, we have to adjust with it. And I can clearly see now that we all know that these are the timings are specifically for his school and how we should get adjusted. And secondly, he is also aware that no, mom and dad cannot come to me every time. I have to learn the things. And I want to mention that this lockdown keeps if means it brings lot of patience between us, because we can understand if someone says that there is some technical issues at home. We can understand, okay, yeah, sure, because of the this lockdown we are everyone is experiencing low bandwidth, and it really brings our patience within us that okay, we have to wait for that person, we have to wait for his reply. So that is what we have naturally built up. Apart from that, I will say the collaboration in a way that initially we used to meet in the office and we used to say hi hello and we used to get our issues resolved at that time itself. But now we have to do it over the chat or over the phone, but it really adds a collaboration between us. We have effectively started using the mechanism which can connect to us like WebEx, or whether it's a Zoom meetings, or whether it's a Microsoft Teams, or whether it's a Slack. We have started effectively using all these technologies, and now we can know that these all methodologies will also help us. And this is something called as 2021 future, which can help not only to us but also to the future generation. Even my son is now so much used to Microsoft Teams and Zoom that he don't need my help anymore. He can do it by himself. So that is one thing which
So
children
he is the next technology leader in the making, I can say.
maybe not sure. Yeah, I can say that every kid now know how he can log into
Yes,
Zoom.
the next generation would be much more ahead than the current one, I can say,
Yeah.
in terms of technology.
Yes.
So I would like to thank you and welcome you once again, Rahul and Rasika. Thank you so much for spending your time with us and sharing your views about your topic and range of issues. And so, on behalf of the entire organizing team and the jury, I would like to welcome you all once again as our speakers, and we are really looking forward for your session. Thank you so much, Rahul and Rasika.
Thanks, Harsh. Thanks a lot. This was a
Yeah.
good session.
Hey, thanks, Harsh.